to disappear, counts the seconds that she can hold it. 1. Black girl body is still there. Black girl is still there, being kissed by white boy who likes kissing her, but nothing more. Wait. White boy likes how strong her back feels, the way she arches it. Her shoulder blades jump from beneath the flesh like knots. On the weather-worn skin of a Mississippi maple tree, her neck twists like a thick brown rope. White boy likes the way black girl sways her body, the way she moans in his mouth, hums like she's reciting scripture, the Holy Ghost, sledding beneath an Alabama sunrise. Her mouth is no water hole. Her mouth is a burning church in Birmingham. White boy's tongue is slick with gasoline. Black girl body is still there. Black girl is still there. Black girl is dying inside. 4 little black girls died inside. Her eyes are 2 shattered storefront windows in LA. There is a riot in her throat. Tastes like poison in a massive cooking pot. Black girl kisses like he owes her something. White boy kisses like he owns her or something. Black girl thinks too deeply about their tongues, the way they move and make language. But black girl only knows white boy's language. She'd been lost her centuries ago when it was stolen from her mother's mouth by black hands that packed black whips on black backs. Black girl still has trouble reading him. I used to believe that happiness was nothing more than a childhood story, a strand of hope stuck between the teeth of some sleeping beauty, wedged in the enamel like mango hair, as tangible as the smell of Sundays with my grandmother, the way she skinned the fruit like some morning offering. In the morning, I offer you the smell of my skin like a pinky promise. For the days when you wake and the left side of your bed seems a little too heavy. You like my face as naked and unmade as the right side. I yawn too wide, stretch too long. You wipe cleft notes from my lashes, admire the way that age plays the bagpipes of my eyelids skillfully, and learned like finger to nose we wear our naked so well together. Revel in the ripe stench of sunrise on our lips. Kiss me nasty, baby. And you always do. Mastered at least 100 different ways a mouth can move. You had me the day you kissed me like hello. My name is Mud. I like almonds, poetry, and you. I smell like cucumbers and rain. I don't bathe unless I have to, and today is a lazy day. I make corny jokes. Laugh when I'm not supposed to. Would you look at that? I've got scars too. Will you be my trap? And I kissed your back like goodbye. I left my name with that other guy. I don't know the shape of my own spine. I haven't been here that long, but I'm afraid I might love you. Yesterday, I found a crow in my chest cavity. He left nothing but scraps. I'm good at breaking things and never putting them back. Will you be okay with that? From then on, we've always been honest like that. Yet I am still surprised each time your gypsy tongue begs laughter from my pelvic bone, and I shake like a tambourine. You play nurse to the rumble in my stomach, twist the shells of lacerated butterflies into lanterns, hang them from my ribs crooked, my body loud and bulky, conspicuous and clambering as my bones shift like steel plates. I call you alchemist. For the way you cradle my metal cage like a spearhead, cautious and deliberate, you've got a way of finding the gold in things. The silver lining of my nicotine tongue, sweet and convoluted as a licorice whip, the way it lashes without warning, slinking back to later lick your wounds, the nerve of you to call all this beautiful. And you make it your business that I never forget. So some days I'm gonna kiss you like hello. My name is Fiona, will you be my Shrek? I don't know what the word no means. I hate jokes and love the mango stink of your sweat. I hit too hard. Sing with the voice of a fractured clarinet. I was stupid enough to have burned my chin with a cigarette, and until now, I never believed in happiness or regret. It still amazes me how you seem to find beauty in all that. Thank you.
It says here, lead young orphans. Wisest to hills. I say, please give it up again for Alexis Marie Topwright. Thank you. Okay, in my role as compare, I get to do another audience participation poem. So you can all make some noise, because I know you have to keep silent with that kind of quality poetry going on. So there's one that you can make some noise. It's called The Run Honey Bunny. And as it's all part left. The Run Honey Bunny. I normally do this in primary schools and with kids. It's a good bit of fun. So it's called The Run Honey Bunny. What's it called? It's a bit hard, isn't it? Okay, I do signs like this. What's that? Just a moment. Okay, and then you fill in the words, okay? So, I had a worth more than on a day, so it jumped into. Sorry, so that's my sign for honey. Alright. I used to do this, like Pooh Bear pulling honey out of the pot. People would shout some strange things. So it's this, okay? So it jumped in, running, and that wasn't for them. So now mine, Wandsworth Morgan, then covered in on a day so, looked very tasty. All right, yummy, have it your own way. Okay, but this bit's loud, but sad, okay? Now my poor... Is that what you sound like when you're sad? Now my poor... Wandsworth Morgan, then covered in on a day so, is in my... And that really wasn't for them. Let me give yourselves a big round of applause for that. Okay, I'd like to introduce to the stage now, it says here, Young Identity.
I'm performing. It's not leading officers as well, right then. And I says to my good friend Samurai, I said that I'm performing. And when I got here, it says you're performing to teach you. So it's a good job I walked with my stuff. I'm learning to do that of late because people kind of swoop on me and say, do a poem. And I'm not like these young people that can just draw a poem out of memory. You know, I'm getting old, yeah, and I still lose a book. You see them coming with their iPads and their phones and stuff. Book. So this is not my book, by the way. I'm going to do a Miss Lou poem, and then I'm going to do one of mine. And I'm going to do a Miss Lou poem because she's been such an inspiration in terms of the way that I write. And I remember growing up listening to a lot of her poems. My grandfather would read some of them, and we used to have remember cassettes? Yeah. The cassettes, and my grandfather had a cassette of some of her poems called Jamaican Lavish, so I was really excited when I came across this collection, which is, I think is still out of print, in a shop in Chicago a few years ago. So I've been reading a lot of her work because it's really to do with the language. My parents are from Jamaica, and I love the patois My patch was not good, you know, like my parents. And I realised that my patch was not so good when I went to Jamaica. I was like, okay, I need to practice somewhat, yeah? So this is really a kind of a British Leeds, Yorkshire patois, right? So this piece is called Colonisation in Reverse. And it was actually written in the 50s. And she was kind of writing about the mass migration of people from Jamaica heading to England and what she felt about the situation. So this is Colonisation in Reverse. What a joyful news, Miss Matty. You feel like you have to do the actions as well, don't you? Can I brace yourself? You know? What a joyful news, Miss Matty. I feel like my heart gone burst. Jamaican people colonizing England in reverse. By the hundreds, by the thousands, from country, from town, by the shipload, by the plane load, Jamaica is England born. Them pour out old Jamaica. Everybody future plan is to get a big time job and settle down in the motherland. What a highland, what a people. Man and woman, old and young, just pack them bag and baggage and turn history upside down. Some people don't like travel, but for sure them loyalty. Them all open up cheap fare to England, agency. And week by week, them shipping off them countrymen like fire for immigrate and populate the seat of the whole empire. Wanna see how life is funny? Wanna see the turnabout? Jamaican people live with back spread out and English people mouth. Yeah. But when them catch a England and start play them different role, some will settle down to work and some will settle for the door. I know these young people don't know what the door is. You know what the door is? What is it? It's what? Benefits, alright. Something like that, yes. Used to go sign on and used to get a door check. Okay. Okay. Jane said the door is not too bad because they're paying her £2 a week to seek a job to suit her dignity. Me say Jane will never find work at the rate she there look. For hard days she sit up on front couch and I read pure love story book. What a devilment of England. Them face war and brave the worst, but I wonder how them go and stand. Colonization in reverse. And there is that colonization, isn't there, that kind of took place? Because it's quite interesting, the panels that were here earlier on, some people thinking in different ways about language and the way that they write, and are you a black writer, are you just a writer, and what is it, you know? And I think you are entitled to define what you are, but I know definitely a lot of my work has the influence of my parents and my grandparents and that language of the patois, and it's very African as opposed to being English. Some people refer to the patois as broken English, and if you listen to some of Ms. Bennett's lectures on language, she talks about talking about the patois, but you know, that patois derives from English, and as far as she's concerned, it doesn't derive from anything. It comes from where it is. It comes from Africa. It comes from the Caribbean. It's an amalgamation of languages, and we can still today place some of those words. Like my mum used to say, "Kuya, kuya." Kuya means to look, we know that, right? Kuya, but it also in the Twi language in Ghana, it means to look. So it's quite an interesting language in itself, and I try to explore as much as that in my work. This piece is dedicated to my grandfather. Zodwa did a piece earlier on dedicated to her grandmother. It's very, very moving. And I said, yeah, I'm going to do this piece because my grandfather passed away recently. But I actually wrote this poem before he passed away. I wrote this poem as an inspiration, so I took a lot of his words, what he was saying to me in one of our times when we sat together and he was singing to me. This year, a revolutionary song. This year, this year, a revolutionary song. This year, and me say fire, fire. Me say fire, fire. Between stories of way back when, world politics, Caribbean history, a song or two. Granddad said, I'm ready. I'm ready to open the gates. He said, I've been here a long time, seeing walls fall and concrete grow. I could have gone a long time ago, but I'm just holding the ground until the time come naturally. As sharp as a needle to the point, it talks about Winnie Mandela and the Soweto uprising of 1976. Recalls Mandela's speech at the Civic Hall when he came to Leeds to receive the key. Watery-eyed, he smiles. Empo's poem of the South African healing woman connects the dots. He said, I don't want no church songs, no hymns of Jesus, please. I don't keep that kind of faith. I stopped wondering about that God a long time ago. Give me the folk songs of my time, the ones I grew with from Jamaica. He hums a melody. I search for the words. He said, I'm ready. I'm ready. And I know everything I should. Done what I can't walk down this garden here no more, but I walk my garden more times than you know it. Dug it deep, turned the soil till everyone could eat. Fattened people, read books, read pages of history, educated a generation. I'm just following time now until my time says, I'm ready inside, and I'm done. We hum. Trace back a time to a house where folktales and songs and board games carried love, not then understood. He laughs, and I remember the words to Bob Marley's song. I need your help here. Do we know Three Little Birds? Yeah? After three. 1, 2, 3. Don't worry. And I knew then every little thing would be all right. Thank you.
Please put your hands together again for Khadija Ibrahim. And please keep the applause going for Aita Gooden.
Hi everybody. I know when he says hi to her earlier on, nobody knows who I am. I'm from Birmingham. And my performance name is Miss Culture Jam. Anyway, tonight I'm just going to share a couple of things with you. I've got a CD here at the moment called La Fire. And one CD is about love and the other one is just generic poems about this, that and the other with cultural flavor. So I'm just going to do 2 love ones, very short, not because they're the best, but because they're the one I can remember. And then I'll try and do something funny. This one is called Sweet, Sweet Love of Mine. Sweet, sweet love of mine. Everything about you I adore. Can a love be so pure? You are as gentle as the morning breeze, always aiming to please. At this moment in time, my heart you completely sees. Sweet, sweet love of mine. All other offers of love I will decline, as you will always be my Valentine. Sweet, sweet love of mine. Okay. And the next one is called Passion. I as the sea is my love for you. You are the cream in my coffee and the sugar in my tea. When I found you, my lover and my friend, I thought our love would never end. You've turned my night into day. I clearly remember it was in the month of May. With you forever I will stay. Whenever I'm with you, the feeling of being so secure lurks in my heart with love so pure. There is nothing I cannot endure. I love you, I love you, I love you. Okay, and we know that there is a thin line between love and hate. Yes? And when you cross that line, God help you. So, this one I'm going to do is called revenge. Usually the injured party takes revenge. My man Stan, he was my greatest fan, I would say, up to the other day. With him, no holds barred. At any time that man could mark my card. So to hear my friend say that when she did stay for a whole night and a day, for me, sheer dismay. And the first thought that entered my head was to knock him dead. Until my friend said, a bobbit would be more deserving. Ouch! And the wench could have it as a serving. For starters, main course and dessert. That was sure to hurt. My ex-man Stan, now he lacks the desire to flirt with a shirt or a skirt. Okay. And this one is called the visa. How many people in here from Jamaican descent? Ooh, quite a few. Boy, but I'm still behaving herself doing it. I'm surprised. Anyway, this is called the conversation. This is called the visa. And they give Jamaican people a lot of bad name. I don't know why, because I think they're quite peace-loving people. Anyway, I went the other day for an interview because I want to have me stay. When this little ranking maga-looking woman who look like she come out of space start to look at me like she thinks a tree growing on my face. And then she start to ask me one whole heap of question like, where do you live? And before any answer I could give, she asked me if I'm in a stable relationship. Stable relationship? Well, I let rip. I said, listen, lady, I don't know how I'm coming across, but I ain't no horse. And being a student is no farce. All I come here is to get a pass and not to cuss no. Not because I'm a Jamaican and not another nation, they're coming to give me all this kind of botheration, telling me about immigration and all that, and I merely cause of the inflation amongst the nation. So listen, lady, just give I man a break for sake. And then this one is to young males. Them say I'm a problem because I'm male and I'm black. I say stop that. Them say me shouldn't chat back. I say cut the crap. But before I could say another word, my blood was running on the ground like when river come down. My hands in cuff they put so rough. One officer said, you've been sprung, and into jail I was flung. So many kicks punctured my lungs. When I complain to the establishment about brutality, they speak of my insanity. They say that my accusation is a figment of my imagination. I say it's about pigmentation and immigration. And then just this last one that I'm going to do, because I think I'm on a time limit. And this is called the conversation. Well, they said that we live in a multicultural society, as the Americans say, multicultural. And in order for us to mix, which is true, we've got to communicate. And like I said to you earlier on, I'm from Birmingham, so part of it, the black country. So the woman sat on the tram, and at first she looked quite glam, until her phone rang. I say the ringtone was as common as a mug, but she could not give a... Someone said it's the sound of the crazy frog as she rummaged to her bag. Hello? How are you? I'm on tram and I'm well round as she looked across the rather large lady sitting next to her. Are you speaking to me? The woman said as she shook her head. And what a kind of a grammar is that? In Africa we speak in much better English. Right. Don't you write me? If I was in Africa, I would put voodoo and juju on you. That would so wipe that stupid smile off your face. So don't you get on my case. A young black Jamaican woman sitting close by, and she kissed her teeth with one almighty stroke as she wriggled in her seat. Both women's attention turned towards her. I want to look pan, she said, and with her outstretched hand, she played with her extension. She said, for you, face look like a funny frog on the phone. And you, black mama, you better go and put back your hand in the bleaching jar. The black part of the part where the bleach couldn't reach, me with my skin like ebony and peach, now you come and face it. And if a Jamaica we in there, fight broke out long time. And by now, your face would even clean the tram line. So chop, Shelly Belly. Alright, good night.
Please keep your hands together. Ita Gooden. And to round off the open mic, please give a warm round of applause for Cy Marai.
Okay. Oh, it's been a long day. So who was here earlier for the panels? I can't see anybody. Can I hear people? Who was here earlier for the panels? Good. So I'm going to follow on from the panels, and I love what Young Identity did with the poems at the end. That was special. Taking a view of the day and turning that into poetry. So I'm going to continue that theme, and some of the things that we're talking about on my panel were, just the pressure of this fast-paced communication that we have right now with Facebook and Twitter. It demands, especially writers, it demands of us that we respond. And if we see other writers commenting on big social events, we think, gee, I need an opinion on that. And so it kind of forces people to usher forth statements and things maybe before they're ready. And that can happen. And some things can go viral, and some things you can get exposure. So this is in that mode, and it's called Tragic Ditty. I wrote this poem last night after being deeply affected by the tragic news that other poets, writers, bloggers had penned poems writing comment about this tragic news before I had penned a poem writing comment about this tragic news. Tragic. Whitney Houston. Ditto, 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 ditto. Michael Jackson. Ditto, 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 ditto. Gary Dobson, David Norris. Amy Winehouse, ditto, 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 ditto. Jade Goody, ditto, 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 ditto. Diane Abbott, David Stanley, Gil Scott Heron, ditto, 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 ditto. Jay Diller, ditto, 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 ditto. Rupert Murdoch, Simon Cowell. Jimi Hendrix, ditto, 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 ditto. Bill Hicks, ditto, 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 ditto. Simon Cowell. Marvin Gaye, Rachel Corrie, Bob Marley, Aaliyah, Tupac, Biggie, Big Pun, Otis Redding, Heath Ledger, River Phoenix, Brittany Murphy, Old Dirty Bastard. Bruce Lee, Janis Joplin, James Dean, Marilyn Monroe, Lisa Left Eye Lopez, Easy E, Keith Moon, Jim Morrison, Gary Speed, Martin Luther King, Omar Wali, El Hajj Malik, El Shabazz, Malcolm X, Jesus Christ, Steve Biko, Malcolm X, Malcolm X, Steve Biko, Jesus Christ, the Queen Mother, Ronald Reagan, Margaret Thatcher, the Queen, Lady Diana, Jesus Christ, Osiris, Horus, Jesus Christ, Buddha, Mohammed, Jesus Christ, Jesus Christ, Jesus Christ, ditto, 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 ditto. Thank you. I'll just do one more. People have repped Jamaica to the fullest today, so we've got Kai Miller coming later, so thank you Khadija and Aisha as well. So I've got to rep my little corner of the Caribbean, which is Barbados. And yeah, any Barbados people? Yes, right. I'm honorary page on that. Anyway, thank you for that. But yeah, Barbados. So I was actually in schools this week in South Yorkshire rather than Doncaster, and people coming up to me, and the kids were, I think it's kind of unique, this hair, and going, "Oh sir, good hair, can I get my hair like that, and can I touch it?" And then, you know, a common thing was, "Are you from Jamaica?" I'm not from Jamaica, my dad's from Barbados. And Barbados has got a little bit of knowledge and awareness now through Rihanna, so people kind of know Rihanna. And yeah, cover drive, but there's some amazing products in Barbados. Adrian Green, big up. But this is called Pride of Barbados, because if you haven't been to Barbados, there's something called a plantation. The plantation is not a concentration camp. This plantation employs Africans and descendants of enslaved Africans. This plantation pays at least the minimum wage. This plantation is a premier tourist attraction. This plantation is a world-renowned showcase for Barbados. This plantation is featured on CNN, BET, and major UK TV. This plantation will be televised. Will be televised. Will be televised, and this plantation is always excellent. The plantation is not a concentration camp. This plantation offers you air-conditioned transport from and back to your hotel. This plantation will entertain you with steel pan dancers, tumblers, stiltmen, fire eaters, limbo, and live local music. This plantation will feed you with an award-winning Barbados buffet. This plantation accepts all major credit cards. This plantation serves you free drinks all night long. The plantation is not a concentration camp. is not a concentration camp is not a concentration camp. This plantation has its own website. This plantation features a 20-minute film informing you of exciting ways to boost the Bajan economy with your tax-free foreign currency. This plantation is sponsored by Mount Gay Rum, the island's oldest. Banks Beer, exactly. Colombian emeralds, paradise in every box. This plantation, which is not a concentration camp, is sponsored by rum, beer, emeralds. This plantation is not a concentration camp, is not a concentration camp, is not a concentration camp. This plantation bears little or no relation, historical, cultural, actual, to a plantation. Thank you.
Samurai. Okay, it's almost time for a break. There's a rule in this break. Okay, Shagan said 10 minutes. I said 15 because you need to get a drink, have a wee, and have a smoke. Right? Right? One of them you're going to have to rush. 13 minutes. Okay, let me just even check what the time is. I make it 2 minutes past 9. 1:15 on the nose, please, everybody. And can we put our hands together, please, for those who performed in the first half? These are authors, Young Identity, Legion Ewing, Mighty Woman, and Samurai. Ladies and gentlemen, speak easy. Just so you know, it's Chris Jam, Shirley May, Akil Janela, Amanda Milligan, Shagan French, Yvonne McCalla, Joe Luckin, Colin Thorpe, Ben Price, Cindy Johnson, and Flo Wilson. Okay, we're just minutes away from the main act and final act, Kai Miller, but I'd like to share with you a poem which I wrote for... What's it? What about that? For what? Do you want to know any participation poem? Yeah! Have two. Well, I didn't want to do this one because it ends on a rude word my mum's end. Is it alright, Mum? Can I just one? They say it, not me. Okay, so you have to end it with shh. Okay, it's called a poem called Dolly Kebab. No, but have I done that already? Good. I'm so busy. Okay, Dolly Kebab. Who's had a Dolly Kebab? Do you like them? What, used to like them when you used to get really bladdered, but don't like them anymore. Realise they're bad for you. In fact, they should be called... Exactly. That's the effect that Dolly Kebab can have. Somebody had a kid, some mayonnaise, chili sauce. Just good. Microphone stands don't like me today. Okay, Dolly Kebab. A Dolly Kebab is what I had. Before I sorry Mum, shat. There we go. Anyway, I'll start that again so you can all, sorry Mum, you can all shout shat. Alright? No? Then I can't do my audience participation poem. A Dolly Kebab is what I... With chili sauce and onions too, and then I ran straight for the... They're not like beans that make you... You can say fart, fucking on. They're not like beans that make you... Because I can fart into and... With Christmas season always starting, I'll be going carol. But not if I have another dollar, many more of them, and I'm a... They take the insides out of me and send them down the... Thank you, lavatory. Because when Nicky Mab has been and gone, I feel I've lost another... Stone. 10 more kebabs, that to be it. I'll disappear in a great big. Give yourselves a round of applause for that one. Okay, moving swiftly on. I'd like to introduce to the stage. Are you ready? Mr. Kai Miller. Give him a round of applause to the stage. I think I'm going to start this reading in a strange way, with a strange dedication. I want to dedicate this reading to a Baptist alto, which means I have to explain to you what a Baptist alto is. I've just been listening to the whole proceedings from this morning and I've been thinking about this Baptist alto. Let me explain a Baptist alto. What me and my friends used to call a Baptist alto growing up in Jamaica. We used to go to church. And there's always, I can't sing so you have to help me out, but let's just say you went to church and, let me just think of a common chorus in Jamaica. You went to church and someone had raised the chorus a little more oil, so everyone is singing. Some of you know this, right? A little more oil in my lamp keeps me burning. A little more oil in my lamp, I pray. A little more oil in my lamp keeps me burning to the break of day. That's what most of us are singing, right? Now, at church, there was always one little old woman at the back, right? Now, she never understood anything about music, despite what they say about black people. She couldn't sing to save her life. But what she always did was that she always found just one note of that song. And she just sang that for the whole way through. So while we were singing, she never understood anything about, music theory, about finding harmony back when either 1/3 above or 1/3 below. No, it was not like that for her. She just found one note. And so while we're all singing this song, she's always at the back going, a little more oil in my lamp keeps me burning. A little more oil in my lamp, I pray. And we always call that the Baptist alto. Sometimes I think what we do when we're writing from the peripheries and when we're writing from different cultures, we're finding ways to include sounds that are not usually considered musical. We're incorporating sounds that bring all kinds of dissonance. And I think oftentimes when I write, I'm trying to include a Baptist alto in my writing. I see all these people coming up reading from iPads. I've never ever read from an iPad before. I'm doing it for the first time only because I was listening to everything and I was thinking about this Baptist alto. And now I'm going to do another verse. I'm going to read something that I've just been writing today. So it's not finished, but it's my thoughts. And I guess this is my form of a dedication again. This sound, this old woman's sound, risen. Sorry, let me just fix one. So, this sound, this old woman's sound, risen from a crude bench of lignum vitae, from a church called Mount Zion Pentecostal, or maybe Ebenezer Baptist, risen from a woman called Mabel, or maybe Prudence. This sound, risen from her diminished shoulders, her purple frock soft and simple on her body, this single note rising strong, an echo of the way she once used it to urge herself and her brother brush across the entire length of a red floor. This insistence onto her limbs that despite the aching fact of arthritis, she never get weary yet. This, which was once a temperance and a softening onto her hands, lest she kill the children who reminded her too much of their daddies. This sound that was a remembrance unto her each time she felt that she was living in a friendless world, that in fact she had a friend in Jesus, all her sins and grief to bear. If it is possible to raise such a rounded sound out of the flat whiteness of a page, out of the flat whiteness of an English landscape, I raise it now. I raise it because it is a reminder to me that not every harmony need be harmonious, a remembrance that some sounds are for more than just music, and I raise it not as a chorus, but as a man might raise a trembling brown hand in a classroom in Oxford, his voice so much softer than his granny's, but speaking on behalf of her complicated aesthetic and disprivileging of all things quiet and understated. I raise it as a sound a man might make across the cells of his prison, calling to the gatekeepers that we've been trapped here too long. I raise it as a sound a woman might make from her knees, saying unto God, it's been 500 years now, surely time come. Young Identity. Thank you. That was incredible, and I know something weird was happening, and it was just, I kind of felt like a private letter was being sent to me, because clearly I'd be the only one who would hear certain things, but thank you. I was kind of in the back there, almost feeling, I swear to you at times, close to tears, because I've never heard anyone take so many lines of my poetry and give it back to me in a different way that was still giving it back to me, but it's completely yours, and I really loved what you did and how you expanded it. I'm going to read some of the poems that you sent back to me, and thank you for that. And all kinds of things have been coming up. When I wrote this book, A Light Song of Life, I was listening to Miss Lou, who Khadija read from so beautifully. Khadija, you still there? Yeah, I was listening to Miss Lou, and Miss Lou is the one who told me about this figure called the Singer Man. And the Singer Man in Jamaican culture, when in the 1930s, when they used to build roads, the government used to hire a man to sing songs while they built the roads, and I think that's so amazing. I would love the University of Glasgow to hire somebody to sing songs while I mark people's essays. So the Singer Man keeps on coming up in this collection. A short biography of the Singer Man. The Singer Man, born in 1903, has lived in Spalding, in Lime Tree Grove, in a village called Rim. Wherever there were no roads, wherever the hills rose up like a flock of green parrots, you would find him. Singer Man paid $50 a week, dug trenches, filled the pits with mortar and bits of broken stone. But Singer Man's most crucial job was to lift up mentors, to time Chichi Bodo to the swing of a workman's hammer, and no one knew if it was the hammer or if it was the song, but there was no rock so strong to resist the fourth accented beat, that hum in the Singer Man's song. Anytime, I've read with Linton a couple of times, and every time, Linton does its insistence that, please don't clap in between points. I am so much more insecure than Linton, so I really don't So thank you very much for that. You don't need to, I really think an asshole when I said that. Brochure. Just imagine that you're visiting Jamaica and you're reading a brochure. Brochure. Avoid the 3-lane highways. Drive on the Singer Man's roads. Your journey, even when bumpy, will be sweet. The ascents lifting you as in a chorus, the sharp corners turning you like a force of melody. There is a back road that sings its offbeat way up Stony Hill, built, of course, by the Singerman, and the slim road to Mount Pleasant, also built by the Singerman, and yes, it was the Singerman who orchestrated the long road to Portland, made it full of waterfalls, so that a man and his mule traversing its miles could forget for a while the solemnity of their loads. Please, when you visit Jamaica, drive on the Singerman's roads. I guess I was thinking about this Singerman, and I thought, if it was America, he'd be singing the blues. He points strange things, and so I thought, if he'd sing the blues in America, what is the color of his songs? Isn't that a stupid thought? Anyway, the color of the Singerman's songs. If the Singerman had gone to America, he would have sung the blues. He would have sung the blues with a voice like John the Baptist, with a tongue covered in sand, and his blues would have been that kind of blues that is fed on locust and honey, blues like a cry that cometh from the wilderness, blues like the sound of warthogs alarmed at the sky. And the Singerman would have sung it from his field in Arkansas straight to Harold Arlen's sitting room, and Arlen would have gone to the keys to write a song more sad than blues in the night. But the Singerman did not go to America. He stayed right here, so bless up to him and his song and all music that is sad in its own color. Bless up to the notes that fall like flakes of rust. Bless up to every song that makes its own way out of Dungle, a path straight through ghettos. Bless up to the mental, which becomes ska, which becomes rubber dub, which becomes legend. Bless up all the red gold songs, all the weary evening time songs given to us by the Singerman. This is a strange point. Sometimes you're doing research in my day job. I pretend to be an academic, and that's a very good one. In those moments I tell people, you speak academic language and you say, yes, my research concerns West Indian epistolography between 1930s to the present. Jesus Christ. But sometimes you do research for one thing and you find out a fact, and it brings you back to what you read is supposed to the right points. And this is one of those moments where I found a fact and I just had to go back and write a poem. The fact was simply this, that once upon a time in Britain, there was a law about mermaids. I think when you find out that there's a law about mermaids, you have to write a poem about that there's a law about mermaids. The law concerning mermaids. There was once a law concerning mermaids. My friend thinks this a wondrous thing, that the British Empire was so thorough, it had invented a law for everything. And in this law, it was decreed that were any to be found in their usual spots, showing off like dolphins, sunbathing on rocks, they would no longer belong to themselves. And maybe this is the problem with empires. How they have forced us to live in a world lacking in mermaids. Mermaids who understood that they simply were and did not need our permission to exist or to be beautiful. The law concerning mermaids only caused mermaids to pass a law concerning man, that they would never again cross our boundaries of sand, never again lift their torsos up from the surf, never again wave at sailors, salt dripping from their curls, never again enter our dry and stifling world. Another strange point. So, living in the UK now, But by the way, I just want to say again, thanks for inviting me here. I think the people at Commonwealth and Speak Easy and everywhere knows that anytime I get an invite to Manchester, I will always come because the city is special in my heart. And some of the people here know that story, but invite me anytime. My favorite city in the UK, easily. I hope no one from Glasgow is here. But one of the bad things about just nostalgia works a strange way in here, right? Because you just get nostalgic for strange things. One of the things I get nostalgic for occasionally is rudeness. Because sometimes people here, you go into a store and a woman will say, hi, what do you need? And I just think you're not that happy to see me. There's a ritual I do anytime I land in Jamaica. I come straight out of the airport, I go to the cash machine, I take out some money, usually get $1,000 bill, which I mean is sometimes 9,000. But you get $1,000 bill, and I walk into Tasty's patty and I buy a patty. But always the same thing, I take up $1,000 bill, walk to the woman, I give her $2,000, and she look at me with absolute contempt. Man, I know where I go with that big money and because I don't have no change for that. And I always feel when I hear that I'm home and you get bored of it after a while, but there is something about Jamaican rudeness. This poem is perhaps my one found poem, and it comes out of that situation, and it's I changed some of the lines a little bit, but not much. But I found it on the gate of a justice of the peace. You must have that here in England as well, where a justice of the peace is just somebody, a good person in the community who notarizes certain documents, stamps it for you. Yeah? And they're supposed to do it out of the goodness of their heart. They don't charge money. In Jamaica, some of them charge money. Anyway, I found it on the gate of a justice of the peace. Notice to the public, please observe a found poem. I'm available Tuesdays to Thursdays, 10 a.m. Tickets will be issued and you will be dealt with at that time. After that, I am paralyzed, blind, deaf, and dumb. If you have a hard luck story, don't come. If I don't know you, don't come. If my friend is the one who know you, don't come. If you need to renew a missing passport in a hurry, don't come. If you need to be recommended to an embassy, don't come. If you need a firearm license, don't come. If you need to bail someone and you don't bring a Form 2 from the officer in charge, don't come. If you are a soldier or police who feel him as large as the law and bigger than God, don't come. If you have things to do that you should do and you don't do them yet, don't come. If you can read and understand this, then you won't waste your time and come. I told Shagan earlier that I was writing a novel about this character. That's my novel now. It's called Bedward. Bedward is a figure who is marked in Jamaica's history now in December 31st, 1920. Bedward prophesied that he was going to fly. His failure to do that was in literal and metaphoric ways his downfall. But there are all kinds of important things about Bedward. If there was no Bedward, there would be no Rastafari. That's where Rastafari starts. All the Bedwardites disenfranchised from that moment formed a new religion. That's why the drum beat in the two things are the same. That's why the songs are the same. Mother, the great stones got to move. So anyway, but Bedward is a fascinating figure and I love writing about him. But he really was going mad in his last days, and this poem is all my poems I tell you are a strange poem. The Last Prophecy of Alexander Bedward. It's not supposed to make too much sense, but it's really trying to capture his voice in the end. The last prophecy of Alexander Bedouin. This word is less than it once was. This word has begged for peace 1 mile to the next, made a slow way across water and years. This prophecy has lost its prophets. This word belonged to Elijah once. It was caught up once upon a time, lived in a cloud for a while, spoke cloud, prophesied cloud. We were once like clouds. Listen closely to the stammered, broken word. Imagine what it once was, when it was as whole as bread. The word broken and disclouded, linked like you know who to this new world, and ate its own small ration of salt, fish and yam. This old word that fell from the sky and broke. This word which by all accounts should have keeled over like Sammy. It was found in August town by a fasting man. He had been fasting. He had been making space, a large space in his belly to fit this dwindled word. And though the word was dwindled and the space was large, it was more than Father Forsyth's cart of mangoes. It was more than the man had ever swallowed. This word is more than you have ever pronounced. When the man from Augustown said it, when he said, you are like clouds, you belong to sky, when he called forth every wing which was hiding then in the cavern of our songs, when he called us up from off of Babylon ground and said, fly, 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 fly away. Truly there were those who heard, who saw what they could be in this word, who traded the ground their feet would no longer walk on for white cloth. Truly, it was doves they saw inside this word, and the doves were who they would become. Listen, this word did not mean to bring mind or wing or spirit. This word did not mean to bring hunger or madness, but the word's brokenness was its truth, its stuttering was its eloquence. This word was always full of white bones. This word was a eulogy. It says we are less than we once were, and as much as we will ever be again. It says this is the dark time. Mother, the great stone shall not move. It says a terrible broom has swept our rooms. Now this is a place for owls. Oria batakaka sandai. Oria batakaka sandai. Listen to this word. There's something I've excluded from this reading and from the books that I haven't really told you what the shape of the collection is. At the heart of this collection, my mother died. And she died 2 years ago. She was 60. It was kind of surprising. So as I said, it's called A Light Song of Light, and you see the fact that the singer man and the thing of music just plays a big part in the collection. But I think a big thing I was asking myself was, how do you sing your way back to light? If things are dark, and how do you do that? So I'll read a couple points from that. But it occurred to me in Jamaica we have a 9 nights. The 9th night after the person dies, you have a 9 night. And I thought to myself, in the 1930s, who would they call to perform a 9 night? The singer man's other job. In late hours, the singer man can be found at a dead yard pointing songs to the moon, if there is a moon, to the dark, if there is only dark. For this, the singer man is paid with rum, and if it takes all night, he will sing all night until his melody is as sure as what he builds in the daytime. The dead will step on roofs, on trees. They will float up to the stars towards an intergalactic highway where comets and angels pass. There is a road that climbs towards Mount Zion, and this too was built by the singer man. A parting song. May your portion be blue. May your portion be sky. May your portion be light. Goodbye.
and may your portion be song, whose notes never die, and may the music be sweet. Goodbye. And may your portion be soft, and may your portion be love. Yes, may your portion be love, and may your portion be soft, and may the soft lift you high, and may your portion be sky. Goodbye. This is my attempt to write a song that you'd hear at a nine-night song. I have a tune in my head, but I won't sing it to you. But when you cross River Jordan, tell Liza how they do. Tell her listen to his song, because we're singing it for you. Tell her we'll love and we're missing stretch more than every mile, but we're patient in the treading, and we see her in a while. When you cross River Jordan, tell me mama how they do. Tell her listen to his song, because we're singing it for you. Tell her we love and we're missing is a fruit that cannot spoil, but we're patient in the treading, and we see her in a while. I thought, final poem, yeah, there are songs from that section, and then I'll read the title poem. And that's it, really. But I thought while writing this collection, as I said, my mother really features a lot in there, but I thought that when someone dies, it's really, really easy to elegize the dead. We all do it. We write poems in celebration of this person's life, and sometimes we don't write the poems for the people who we should be writing. Sometimes we don't sing a song for the people who we should be singing songs for. And this is an attempt to do that. Unsung. There should be a song for the man who does not sing himself, who has lifted a woman from her bed to a wheelchair each morning, and from a wheelchair to her bed each night. A song for the man recognized by all the pharmacists because each day he has joined a line, inched forward with a prescription for his ailing wife. There should be a song for this man who has not sung himself. He is father to an unmarried son and will one day witness the end of his name. Still, he has refused to pass down shame to his boy. There should be a song for the man whose life has not been the stuff of ballads, but who has lived each day in incredible and untrumpeted ways. There should be a song for my father. So I'll end with something very, very short after this, but this is pretty much the last poem, but it's a long poem. And as I said, you know what the collection is about, and I guess this is a kind of manifesto. This is my third collection, and in a strange way I was very lucky. I mean, I have to say that, and I do feel lucky. I started publishing when I was really young, and for some reason, this is a poetry collection coming out when I reached the grand old age of 30. And that's stupid, I know. But for some reason I thought I really should know what I want poetry to do, and so it's a kind of a manifesto, but I'm not being precious about it. I don't think it's a manifesto for everyone. I was trying to say what I think poetry should do, what I'm trying to do with poems. And I guess my definition was that a poem is a light song of light, and how do you write that? So the poem is called 12 Notes Towards a Light Song of Light. 1. A light song of light is not sung in the light. What would be the point? A light song of light swells up in dark times, in wolf time and knife time, in knuckle and blood times. It hums a small tune in daytime, but saves its full voice for the midnight. 2. A light song of light spits from its mouth the things that occasionally gather, the dull taste of morning and cobwebs. You will not believe their thickness, and the strangest word, Karanapa, so much larger than its letters, a maroon of a word, and a word so silent it is the opposite of song. 3. A light song of light occasionally stutters. This is par for the course. There is no need for concern, no need for bed rest or vitamins, no need to take your song in, to the song specialist for treatment. 4. But were you to take your light song in for a thorough checking up, a blood screening, you might discover your song has cancer, HIV, diabetes, is going blind in its left eye. You may not have strength to sing your song for this season or the next, but a light song of light cannot be held back. It cannot wait on health or its perfect occasion. 5. A light song of light meditates in the morning, does yoga once a week, accepts the law of karma. It may not worship in a synagogue, it may not worship in a barnyard, but still it believes in a clean heart, in righteous living, and the general avoidance of pork. It would like to touch your feet, pronounce a blessing before you go, Jah guide and protect always. Selah, Ashe, Ashe. 6. A light song of light will summon daffodils, bluebells and strawberries, will summon hummingbirds, the shine of sequins, the gold of rings, and the dreadful luminosity of everything we had been told to close our eyes to, because they had no sharp edges, because they could not be wielded against the enemy, will be called back into service, retired weapons that have no memory of war, or that they could fight, or that they could win. 7. A light song of light is not reggae, not calypso, not mento or zouk. It is not a common song from a common island, a song whose trail you have followed for umpteen years, a song trembled from the single tooth of the singer man who had beat his tune out from a sheet of zinc, and how it surprised you, the thin bellies on which music could be drawn. You did not know then that his song came at the price of history and came at the terrible breath of ocean, at a price which even now you cannot fully consider. 8. I like song of light, don't talk the way I talk most days, to tell the truth. I never knew at first what this country was going to me. How I would start hearing myself through the ears of others, how I would start putting words on a scale, exchanging the ones I think in for the ones I think you will understand till it become natural. This slow, careful way of talking, this talk like the walk of a man who finds himself on a street he never gone to. And maybe nothing wrong with a false talk like that, but that is no way to sing. 9. A light song of light is not understood completely. Not in the moment it is sung, and maybe not for months after, but it sings with a faith common in those who never lost their accents, who talk their talk knowing you may not catch everything, but you will catch enough. And if you don't catch nothing, then something wrong with your ears. They're in tune to the wrong frequency. 10. A light song of light tells not jokes, and tells them in order to illustrate the most heartbreaking points. It is not that the song does not know the weight of sadness. It is not that the song does not take things seriously. It is not that the song needs to write 100 times on a chalkboard, I will be heavy, I will be heavy, I will be heavy, I will be heavy. 11. A light song of light is distant cousin to songs we sing in bathtubs. Is related then by accident to water and to soap and to square white tiles that bounce sound one from another. Is related also to rain and to the little things we say to get us through the hurricane. 12. A light song of light says thank you. To the paper it is written, this most solid evidence of its existence, however thin. Sometimes though a light song of light wishes it were written on material even thinner, the shaft of morning that slides through a shut window. A light song of light believes nothing is so substantial as light, and that light is unstoppable, and that light is all. I'll end with I'll end with just something as it has scribbling today. Probably I'll call it just one of the things I would like to believe. Just one of the things I would like to believe. That were we to take a flight to Ben Gurion Airport in Israel, that were we to then jump on one of the small blue buses heading to Jerusalem, the broad black road and the sand as tall as mountains on either side, that were we to get to Jerusalem, and instead of walking into the ancient city, instead of walking the 14 stations of the cross, instead of buying flat bread from a man named Ishmael who sells from in front of the Aramaic church, or instead of buying cloth from the woman who sells cloth from the gates of the city, that were we to walk instead the 17 miles to Jericho, and were we then to join the diggers forever digging down deep into that once ruined city, and were we to find the rubble of the wall that had been famously destroyed, and were we to place a head of a stethoscope to this rubble, the ear tips of the stethoscope to our ears, that we would hear rising out of old Jericho that which led to its fall, not just a shout, but a clear and loud Baptist alto. That's the cover, by the way. It's a roof that I took a picture of, a zinc roof, when I was... Strange what we make songs out of, eh? We make a song out of a zinc roof. I lost the point. Don't worry. Alright, let me read two to satisfy, and then we can do should I do this? Yeah. The longest song. When I again poem started with the strangest places. This is how this poem started. I think I was watching a program like 8 out of 10 Cats. And the question was, what was special about the first 18 months of John Cage's composition As Slow as Possible? I think somebody buzzed in and said what was special was that people cared. What was special is that it started with a rest. And so the first note was only heard 18 months after it began. The longest song, this is the note that begins the poem, just that John Cage's composition As Slow as Possible began being played in St. Bernardus Church, Germany in 2001 and is scheduled to end in the year 2640. So you can go there and listen to it now. The longest song. The longest song begins like a comma, a rest that lasts for 18 months, long enough that when the first chord is heard, surprising, as an extinct bird come back to life, many cannot stop their tears, and one man, it is said, has told his wife he plans to weep until the music has reached its next rest. I suspect were we to pilgrim towards this hymn, were we to sit in the hard pews and only listen, patient through its months of silence, our lives would be held like a story my father tells me is true. A man with a noose round his neck is allowed one final song. And when he stands on the stage and with a voice rivaling Franco Corelli in his better days, begins 10 billion green bottles standing on the wall. And though this man has never lost count of his battles, all have lost count of the years that have passed since the world outside the world of the sun. 100 years at least, they have stood still. A man, his executioner, and the small crowd of witnesses, all held as we too could be held in a single room, our lives echoing beyond their natural years, stretched between clef and final fall, crescendo and diminuendo of one incredible song. Again, thank you so much for having me here. Thank you again for that tribute, and just for an amazing day. I thought it was such a well-organized conference. It made me think of several things. So thank you for the organizers. Thanks for. This is in proof. This rectangle of sea, this portion of ripple, this conductor of midday heat, this that the cat steps delicately on, this that the poor of the world look up to on humid nights as if it were a crumpled heaven they could be lifted into. God's mansion is made of many colored zinc. Like a barnyard I once went to, peace and love written across its breadth. This clanging of feet and boots, men running from Babylon whose guns are drawn against the small measure of their lives. This galvanized sheet, this corrugated iron. The road to hell is paved on each side with zinc. Just see down Scott's installation, a cultural object. It's circles of zinc like the flight path of jumpers. The American penny is made from zinc, coated with copper, but still enough zinc that a man who swallowed 425 coins died. This that poisons us, this that holds its nails like a crucified Christ, but only for a little while. It rises with the hurricane, sails in the wind, a flying guillotine. This a plate for our severed heads, this that sprinkles rust over our sleep like obeah, this that covers us, this that chokes us, this the only roof we could afford.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to say thank you to everybody who performed, and then I'm just going to finish with a bit of drumming because I just feel I ought to. I hope you don't mind. Or somebody minds. So please put your hands together and remember Guy Miller, Speakeasy Band, Simon Wright, Nancy Gill, DJ Lieberman, I was going to say Mark Smith, Young Identity, and Leeds Young Orphans. I'll just play a bit of stuff rather quickly, end on crescendo, and that's your job done. Can I have a random word from somebody, please? Orange. Orange. Can I have a longer random word from somebody, please? Frangipani. Frangipani.